Every human is radically and astonishingly beautiful if we can see them. I'm not coming to you as a scientist in a white lab coat. I come to you as an artist and a healer in a red caftan to share my research with you here today. I've been using an underground art form as a laboratory for the last 20 years to explore the healing that happens when we're fully expressed while being witnessed by another human. I'm sharing with you my field notes of my laboratory of performing and teaching conscious burlesque. And what I've learned through my research is every human is radically and astonishingly beautiful when we can see them. But so many of us live with the wound of not being seen. Why is this the case? In order to explore this, I have to set aside burlesque for a moment so that I can introduce you to the idea of boom boom trauma and drip drip trauma. Boom boom trauma is when something happens that has a date and a location. For example, your house burns down on the 2nd of April, 1992 in Boston. Or you're sexually assaulted on the 18th of January, 1981 in Mendocino. It's clear life is one way, something happens, and then life is noticeably different. That's boom boom trauma. For the longest time, I only knew about boom boom trauma, and I was consciously responding to my own boom boom trauma with all of my healing work and exploration, including my work with conscious burlesque. And then I learned about drip drip trauma, and that was a moment that woke me up. That is the thing that I had been experiencing the most pain from, and I didn't even know it was a thing. I didn't know what to call it. Drip drip trauma is when it's not safe to be yourself. And when it's not safe to be, we hide and then we are never seen. It's really hard. It's really hard to track. It's the whole forest, all the people who can't see you. It's hard to put your finger on. It sends us into this really trancy area, but it's the trance that we don't know we're in until we leave it. We can't even see how unseen we are. For example, when you experience grief or upset as a child and you're repeatedly told that you're too sensitive, or at work, you pre-guess what needs to be done, and you do it all yourself unbidden, or you do the work of 2 to 3 people when the project is under a tight deadline. Or you're with others, but you feel lonely because you are withholding saying the thing you know wants to be said for fear of being totally alone. Drip, drip trauma anesthetizes us so that we feel less and we have less access to our own body sensations. And this hurts us because it diminishes our connection with ourselves and with other humans. Drip, drip trauma is relational trauma. It's the through line. It's what attachment trauma, developmental trauma, and complex PTSD all have in common. They're all forms of drip, drip trauma. If you don't know these terms, don't worry. What is important for you to know is that drip, drip trauma affects all of us. It's just the matter of how much each one of us experiences it. Drip, drip trauma is born of relational wounds, and it is healed through the balm of relationship. The same soil that births it resolves it. And I came to learn this, surprisingly, through the art of burlesque. And I'm sure that not everyone here is familiar with burlesque. It is an often misunderstood art form. For a long time, it was primarily a form of titillating cabaret dance performance, catering to the male gaze. And then it almost died. And then in the mid-90s, there was a revival whose focus became to empower the artists. When I came onto the scene, I was not yet carrying a clipboard, but I knew that there was another potential layer here, although I couldn't quite articulate it. And it was this stage that became my laboratory for exploring relational healing. Would you like to see my lab? Hello, I'm Kellita, your Glenda the Good Witch meets Mr. Rogers meets Maud from Harold and Maude, showgirl, shaman, hostess for the evening. And on behalf of myself and my whole bevy of beauties, we welcome you to our cabaret, Burlesque from the Inside Out. What exactly is burlesque? We could spend all day, all week, or all month discussing and debating. We will not. I, for a long time, quoted a colleague who said, "Burlesque is when a performer takes the stage, magic happens, and said performer leaves the stage with less clothing." We are going with a version of that, what I have come to learn through my practice with conscious burlesque, that burlesque is when a performer takes the stage, magic happens, and said performer leaves the stage with more of her radiant essence, both tangible and visible to herself, and those lucky enough to witness her. We're going with that. So how do we go from ogling someone to seeing their radiant essence? How do we heal relational trauma, drip, drip trauma, with conscious burlesque? Well, the steps are simple, but they're not necessarily easy. At first, you need another person or a group of people. Look what I have. So I am going to say my name, and I am going to make an unplanned gesture. And afterwards, you here, you at home, you will say my name and make my gesture. You'll copy me. Kellita. Oh my God, thank you. So delicious. I wish we could do this for each person here. What just happened is you mirrored me in a very simple way, and I felt seen. Now, the miming that we practice is, or the mirroring that we practice, it's not always so mimey, but this is an awesome place to start. So when we are mirroring each other to support one another in healing relational wounds with burlesque, we invite the audience into a particular stance. Rather than passively watching and wondering, do I like what she's doing? How she's moving? What's my analysis of it? Do I think she's doing a good job? Is she pleasing me? Rather, we invite the audience to mirror the artist. And what's key here, and it becomes the main job of the audience, and what is key here is, what does it feel like to be you in the presence of this artist? And when I say, what does it feel like to be you, I mean literally, what are your emotions and your sensations? Are you, for example, feeling joy? Are you feeling nervous? Are you feeling excited? Are you sensing a tickle in your belly, a flush in your cheeks? Are your fingers cold? We are aiming to notice our actual experience rather than our idea, our thoughts about our experience. In our world today, we often have only access to our thinking and our categorizing and our assessing what is happening in front of us. And our feeling, our ability and capacity to feel languishes in the bottom drawer in the back room. We want to be seen in conscious burlesque, but the only way that that can happen is if both the audience and the artist are present in their bodies, feeling alive. It's the same job. It's the same job for both parties. Not feeling seen or connected is very painful. In most of our educational experiences, our thinking is praised. In the workspace, our thinking is highly praised. And so we turn our thinking up. Our planning, our predicting, our guessing. What does the audience want? What does the boss want? What does our spouse want? What do our parents want? All in an effort to feel connected. But we're confusing approval and validation with connection. We can't think our way to connection. We can't good job our way to connection. We think, I will do a good job, someone will like it, and then I'll like myself. Ouch. I'm sure that you have some thoughts about how I'm doing right now on stage. Are you understanding me or not? Do you think that I'm serving my purpose as someone sharing her ideas from the stage? Do you like what I'm saying or not? And while I dearly want you to understand me, there's something else that I'm more interested in. What does it feel like to be you in the presence of me, sharing my ideas from the stage? So often in our day-to-day lives, we have precious little opportunity to feel our whole embodied selves. People sometimes ask me, can burlesque really heal trauma? Removing clothing, revealing more of one's skin, can that really help a woman, a human, to feel more connected to herself? Not necessarily, not on its own. This woman must be tracking her own aliveness. Is she alive in her cheeks, in her shoulders, in her thighs, in her belly, in her breasts? Am I here? And we are helping her, we the audience. We are tracking our own selves. Am I here? Am I here in my body? And when the answer is no, adjust the choreography. If your plan is, at the second loud toot of the trumpet, to remove your bra and you're not home, adjust the choreography literally. Instead, turn around, do a shimmy. You can't give consent if you are not home. If you override yourself, you will be doing it for a good job. I have a motto. Never, ever, ever show a disembodied boob. Speaking of costumes, burlesque is historically synonymous with feathers and rhinestones. But in conscious burlesque, we use our costumes as an external manifestation of our radiant essence. And whatever will help us feel more like ourselves, that's what we wear, whether it's feathers and glitter or sweatpants and tennis shoes. In conscious burlesque, we raise the stakes. We are inviting intention on purpose. We're choosing our song, we're choosing our costume, we're choosing our choreography, but it is not our song, nor our costume, nor our choreography that allows you to see me. What allows you to see me is that you're home and I'm home. I am a burlesque performer who avoids the word sexy. Go figure. The idea of sexy, it's been so co-opted and distorted. It's been mutilated by our media. I enjoy instead the words full spectrum aliveness, vitality, presence, and radiance. Let me show you. Drink this in. All of it, the full spectrum. Take a little bit of this home in your pocket so it's available to you. This is what I'm pointing to. When we feel our own full spectrum aliveness like this, we are healing the drip, drip trauma. When I am embodying my own sense of aliveness, I feel more like me in your presence, and I open the door for you to feel more like you in my presence. It's the opposite of zero sum. It's life begetting life. It's connection that becomes infectious. The mystic poet Rumi says, "If I really see you, I will laugh out loud or fall silent or explode into 1,000 pieces." And really, those are the only options when you're lucky enough to witness the unrepeatable radiant wonder of a fellow human. We live in a world with profound polarization because we feel disconnected from ourselves and from each other. But we have the capacity to tend to that. Thanks to technology, I can see you and you and you and you in any country from my tiny phone. I can hear your beautiful voice. I can see your beautiful face. It's astounding. If we can suspend our capacity, our well-honed capacity to judge and analyze and categorize and assess, we can learn to see one another into existence. We can heal our long-held relational wounds, and we can behold one another as the unrepeatable, radiant wonders that we are. The simple act of seeing and being seen can become the World Wide Web that weaves connection and relationality back into the fabric of humanity. Thank you.